For 10 years, I worked the night shift on the 4th floor. Room 417 was always mine. That's where Mr. Howard stayed, a retired judge with failing lungs and no visitors. No family, no flowers. Just a small clock on the wall, and the sound of machines breathing for him when he couldn't. I wasn't his family. I was just the nurse who brought his medication on time, warmed his blankets, and listened when the nights grew too heavy. He used to say, "You're the only one who talks to me like I still matter." I smiled and told him that was my job. But we both knew it was. When he passed away, quietly, just before sunrise, the hospital moved on in minutes. The bed was cleaned. The chart was closed. Room 417 was reassigned before lunch. I attended the funeral on my day off, standing in the back. No one noticed me. The front rows were filled with distant relatives, people who hadn't visited once, now dressed in black, whispering about assets and property. They spoke of him like a name on paper, not a man who hated cold soup and loved old jazz records. When the lawyer stood up, I prepared to leave. That's when I heard my name. There was a pause, a confused shuffle of feet. The lawyer cleared his throat and said, "Mr. Howard left specific instructions to thank the person who gave him dignity when he had nothing else." Every head turned. I felt my chest tighten as he continued. "To the nurse who sat with me when the nights were long, who spoke to me when my voice was gone, who treated me like a human being, not a patient number." He looked straight at me. I hadn't realized I was crying until I tasted salt. The will continued. The house everyone was whispering about, not theirs. The savings account, not theirs. The art collection, not theirs. He left them letters. I was left his legacy. The room filled with murmurs. Some faces hardened. Others looked away in shame. I didn't feel rich. I didn't feel powerful. I felt seen. Later, as I stood outside the chapel, one of the relatives approached me. She said, "You were just doing your job." I smiled softly and replied, "No, I was doing what you didn't." That night, I drove past the hospital instead of into its parking lot. For the first time in years, I wasn't headed for a night shift. I opened the windows, let the air in, and played an old jazz song, the kind he loved. And I realized something important. Sometimes, the people who change our lives aren't the ones with titles or bloodlines. They're the ones who stay, when staying gives them nothing in return.